Hey everybody, this is Tao at the Forge, and this week I want to bring to you a new deck that I've seen. It's actually not a new deck, but it's an interesting one that I've seen called Liquimetal Destruction. Now, it's kind of a neat sort of deck. It's a really interesting approach. It's kind of similar in style to the Poison Arrows deck I was playing in the S&M series, but a little bit, I think, more competitive and probably surprisingly good. So anyways, I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to be throughout this week, so stick around this week. I'll be uploading game videos throughout the week as I can do them. It's a pretty busy time for me, so I'll have to just upload them whenever I can. Anyways, just a reminder, if you do like the channel and you do like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe. It really does help. Anyways, let's get on with it here. So obviously with Liquimetal Destruction, the key to the deck is Liquimetal Coating. So Liquimetal Coating is a 2-mana artifact where you can tap it and target permanent becomes an artifact in addition to its other types until the end of turn. Alright, so target permanent means a creature, enchantment, planeswalker, even land, okay, anything like that. Alright, so then what we're going to do is then once we turn it into an artifact, we're going to use these cheap artifact destruction spells to just blow it up. Alright, so we're going to say destroy target artifact, so smell to destroy target artifact, ancient grudge, okay, so destroying a target artifact and you can flash it back, smash to smithereens, so destroy target artifact deals 3 damage to artifact's controller, destructive revelry, okay, again, destroy target artifact or enchantment, which is good, deals 2 damage to that permanent's controller. Okay, now, and then Isochron Scepter. Now, ideally, we get an Isochron Scepter and a Smash to Smithereens on it, or Destructive Revelry, and then we can just basically cast that every single turn. Alright, so Isochron Scepter, we can just imprint one of those things on it, and then basically just keep blowing them up with that and controlling their lands. Alright, now the rest of the deck is just basically protection and redundancy. Alright, so we'll go through it here. We're running a 4 of Ancient Stirrings, and that's basically to help us find our Liquimetal Coating. Alright, so like we're pretty much done if we can't find that, so it's kind of nice to be able to get this out. Now, if you don't have Ancient Stirrings, there's also like Gamble or some other things like that that might be able to help you find it. Voltaic Key. Okay, now Voltaic Key just makes everything better. Right, so if you have Voltaic Key, you can use 1 mana and tap this to untap a target artifact. Okay, so then you could tap Liquimetal Coating, turn something into an artifact, untap it, untap Liquimetal Coating, and then tap it again and put something else there. That's weird. It says this is not in my collection, yet it clearly is. Anyways. And then you could use something like a Smash to Smithereens or Ancient Grudge and Flashback and destroy both things at the same time. Right? So it wouldn't actually take too much mana for that. So like on turn, let's say you played this on turn 1, turn 2 Liquimetal Coating, turn 3 you tap Liquimetal Coating, right? Pay 1, tap, actually, so I guess it would have to be turn 4. So tap Liquimetal Coating, target your opponent's land, play Ancient Grudge for 2, pay 1 again to untap it, and then flashback, make another land into an artifact, and then flashback Ancient Grudge. So I mean, it's totally possible to blow up 2 lands by turn 4, or even start destroying things on turn 3. So anyways, let's see, what else do we have here? Manic Vandal. So Manic Vandal is 3 mana 2/2. When Manic Vandal enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact. There's a lot of creatures that have this sort of effect, so you can kind of go a lot of different ways with this. I kind of like the idea of Manic Vandal. And then also Mere Landshaper. Now, Mere Landshaper is basically redundancy, right? So, it's just this version of the card's not in there. I'll just go and change that later. It's not a big deal. Anyways, target land becomes an artifact in addition to its other types until end of turn. Alright, so basically this is a redundant, not as good as Liquimetal Coating, but basically what we can do is we can target their land and make it into an artifact. And Liquimetal Coating can get their other permanents as well. But if, let's say in game 1 you use Liquimetal Coating to do that, they're going to have probably have some artifact destruction or something to get that to destroy that, and then turn, in the second match, you can also use Mirrored Landshaper and kind of control them that way. Right now, it's not as good, but it's better than nothing. And there's not really a lot else that does kind of that effect. Alright, anyways, then we have 2 of Horde, Smelter, Dragon. These are pretty much our win conditions. So there's 4 mana, destroy target artifact, and Horde, Smelter, Dragon gets plus X plus 0 till end of turn, where X is that artifact's converted mana cost. So once we get this out, we can pay 4 mana, tap Liquimetal Coating, turn something into an artifact, and then basically use Horde, Smelter, Dragon to blow it up and give it a huge boost and just win out the game that way. Alright, so for lands, we've got Buried Ruins. So Buried Ruins basically for us to help us get our Isochron Scepter back in case it gets destroyed, or to help us get our Liquimetal Coating in case it gets destroyed. Forests, so 7 forests, and I believe 7 mountains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 7 forests, 7 mountains. Alright, and then 4 Rootbound Crags. Rootbound Crag is kind of like Glacial Fortress, where if you've got a mountain or forest out, it doesn't come in tapped. And because we're playing so many mountains and forests, it's unlikely that this is going to come in tapped. And of course, because I said that, just watch this wreck me later on. But theoretically, it should work. All right, going to sideboard now. The funny thing is, this entire deck is like super cheap. I found actually a lot of pieces for it in the free bots as well, like the Landshapers I found, and what else? Manic Vandals I found as well. A Smelter was in there, and stuff like that. So I mean, and I found a voltaic key as well. But overall, this whole deck is like less than 5 ticks for sure. So it's a really cheap deck, and hopefully it looks like a really fun time to play. The sideboard, however, is super expensive, but you don't have to have this. I just actually put these in here because I already had these cards. Right, so these are just like kind of, if you've watched my videos before, you'll know that I really like these cards for sideboard, mainly because they're just overall really good. Alright, so we have Blood Moon in, just in case we want to disrupt our opponents. If they're playing something like Lantern Control or something like that, a Blood Moon actually can really wreck a Lantern Control. Mainly because it doesn't let them play their mana cards, and then their Ensnaring Bridge doesn't work, and then you can just attack them outright. Alright, so the other thing is anything like Lantern Control, where like Lantern Control or Affinity, where they're playing basically a ton of artifacts, is like we're just gonna wreck them. Alright, because we've just got like tons and tons of artifact hate in our board. Anyways, 3 Crumble to Dust, that's basically against Tron type decks. We can still destroy Tron with what we have here by just basically Liquimetal Coating their Tron lands, and then getting their stuff, and then usually most of the Tron stuff, like the Platinum Angels and the Wormcoil Engines and stuff like that, are all artifacts too, so we can just destroy all their stuff like that. But still, Crumble to Dust I think is going to be pretty good. Pithing Needle to turn off Planeswalkers. I think a tough thing is against Burn, because Burn comes so fast, and they don't really have that many things. Like maybe they got like Swift Spears and Goblin Guides and stuff like that, but overall they don't have too many permanents, so Dragon Claws might really help. Anyways, and then Ensnaring Bridge, basically just to lock out our opponent. And the fun thing is that we can throw down an Ensnaring Bridge, use this Liquimetal Coating to destroy our opponents until we wreck all their lands and just basically destroy their ability to get the board on, and then get our Horde Smelter Dragons. Now they won't be able to attack because we won't have enough cards in our hand, but then we can just use our own artifact destruction and destroy an Ensnaring Bridge, and like our own bridge, and then swing in with our dragons. Right, so that's actually not necessarily a bad strategy either. So anyways, that's the deck. There's of course other things you could put into the sideboard as well. It just depends what you have and what you expect to play. Anyways, if you do like this deck, please like and subscribe. If there's something you think would be good in there, like I said, I've never played this deck before, so if you've got suggestions for cards that might work well, then please let me know. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.